yesterday we finished that format on one of the solutions, and today I wanted to begin with this report that I was compiling, where we have um, done till here, and next I wanted to uh, read it further ahead and to show how I made progress in my research. So what have let's say here we did the last work here, and then there was carryover stock in the previous season. There would be carryover stock this year, and yet the government keeps increasing the price to. Now if you see, my idea to do this research was to jot down the points from this report and to reference it so that I can later on when I have to pursue this point, so I know where it came from and from which report, and where did I pick it from. Let's say I've put the link over here. If you understand this point, it's just simply stated there was a carryover stock in the previous season, means in previous year when the sugarcane harvesting was done, and the stock that is going to get to the next year, and the government keeps increasing the prices. So here they are just reporting, perhaps on the facts that they had gathered. But the point that comes here is when when you look at this and you try to make an inference out of this, try to calculate, okay, how this stock increased, in previous, uh, like why the stock, there was excess of stock, and there is going to be the excess of stock next year, and the price is still increasing. So here you understand, in sugarcane industry, when you have excess of stock in storage and the prices keep increasing, so what you do, you actually try to decrease the price so that it can get sold in the retail market, because there is excess of sugar, and let's say there is less demand and the supply is more, so the prices are going to get decreased, and it costs the mills, let's say, who have direct supply chains and who sell perhaps directly to the retail industry. So you are not going to understand, let's say you have numbers, we have a lot of numbers like this. You're going to read the numbers, but you're not going to understand what is going on. You may be able to do the plus and minus. You may be able to find out, okay, now this is the difference of demand, and this is the estimated sugar, and this is the quantity. But you may not understand, may be able to understand the science beneath this. To understand this, you need to understand the literature, the relevant literature, and the context in it. So let's say you went to the next point, because excess sugar was not exported, the huge amount of sugar stock makes it sell on lower prices, which we have just discussed, which then makes mills to pay less to farmers in accordance with the government determined price law. Now here, if you understand, farmers cultivated the sugar cane. They gave to the mills. Mills crushed the sugar cane, made the sugar cane, and then they, sold it in the through the supplier, or through the broker, or directly through their own supply chain. They sold it to the consumers, ultimate consumers. So what happens is, here when you have excess of sugar in your stock, and it is not sold, so you have to sell them on lower prices. And then when you eventually, you let's say mills have their own supply chain, they are selling at the lower prices, so they are not going to able to make payments to the farmers. Now here, this point becomes valid if I have the data, if I have the timeline. If farmers are getting prices paid when the ultimate retail consumer is consuming the sugar, means buying the sugar, or is the farmer getting paid the time it gives it's produced to the mills, and then mills are liable to pay within 15 days. That is also in the Punjab order of sugar that I have read in possibly in year in 2021. So they are mandated to pay within 15 days. So if they are mandated to pay within 15 days, the next session, half year starting, they are mandated to pay within 50 days, 15 days. So does that mean from the time of cultivation of sugar by the farmers to giving it their produce to the mills, and then mills crushing the cane, producing the sugar, and then giving it to the suppliers, and the suppliers then their own or through through broker through other suppliers, it gets to the retail in retail to the consumers, and then they when income from purchase of the sugarcane comes, then they pay to the farmers. So this way it says okay, you know so determine, so there is a lot of to study about it, okay, to find out actually how actually the payment is done. Because when you read while which make the mills to pay less farmers in accordance with government determined price bill. Because as per my understanding, since they have to pay within 15 days, they must have paid before the sugar has gone to the supply chain and ultimately purchased by the uh, consumer, ultimate consumer. So I may not have the full understanding of this here, of this literature here, because I do not have the facts and the details and the numbers, you can say, of related to this, or I have not read it yet because numbers I don't have. So when you don't have the numbers, you study the literature and keep it at the back of your mind, so that when you come across the numbers or the detailed supply chain, factual sheet, you get to know, okay, this is a procedure. But because what I've learned till now, it does not match with this, so it's just not uh, matching the literature and the numbers that I've known. So next point, let's say it says by October of each year, the department in every province make a forecast of the successive year's crops production. So when you, of course, they must be making a forecast for every on a, for in a, every year for every crop season before it starts. So they must be having some data on the based on which they would be doing it. So this is just a general point, and it's not contradictory. My point of reading these points is just to have understanding. So you see, when you read the numbers like this, uh, you may not have the understanding what they mean, what they are trying to tell you. You may do the deductions and the plus additions, and okay, this is the demand, this is the quantity, but you may not understand the science beneath that. That would actually give meaning to these numbers. So you try to read the numbers, understand them, but you also read the literature, and not one source of literature but various sources, so that you can have a consolidated, coherent, a robust stack of knowledge of literature, which you can then incorporate in your research and make it more meaningful. So this, and my purpose of reading this and is trying to find any substantial, um, you can say, a piece of literature, idea, notion that could assist in solving the problem. So that was the purpose. So let's say in another point it says, despite Pakistan being a water-starved country, 1.3 million hectares of its agricultural land is under sugarcane cultivation. So they here they're indicating that this much. But when I, because I have read the literature of PSMA, and it just says a bit different from this. So let's say if you pick up this report of PSMA here, I've just gathered the data and I've read it. So if you see here on page where we are, it was just in last, and okay, here it is. On page 7, in report 2021, it says rice consumes more water, 322 millimeter per month. Wheat and sugarcane consume 150 millimeter per month. One wheat harvest compared to 2-3 sugarcane harvest. So here they are saying that rice consumes more water, wheat consumes more water than sugarcane. That is one per month, and one wheat harvest compared to sugarcane is 2-3 harvest. मतलब एक wheat का harvest हो जाता है and sugarcane takes two, three harvests and that one wheat harvest. And we are going to look in the report on what does it say on page number 7 in the report 2021. So while we were here, let's just read these. Numbers alone cannot be understood until they are understood with the context. It brings them clarity and meaning that we have done. Then read the literature, identify problems, know the reasons, study numbers that we have done. Read and understand the literature, but by being objective. So here, this is a very important point. When you read and understand the literature, it is important that you keep all your biases uh, aside and try to be objective and not subjective. The most important part of research is finding the correct resources, like we are doing. We are trying to find. We have all the correct resources, but we are trying to find the most valid information, the one that is nearer to the mills and to the farmers and the sugarcane. So, I assume Pakistan Sugar Mill Association might be the most uh, at this point because they have direct access to the mills. So here we have said it's on page 2021 about rice. So I read, okay, here it is. It says sugarcane is not a water guzzling crop, a misstatement which is being propagated over the years, whereas in reality, rice is a water consuming crop that is 322 millimeter per month, while wheat and sugarcane consumes 150 millimeter per month, which is one wheat harvest in comparison to 2 3 sugarcane harvest. Sugarcane is only crop which generates 700 liters of water for every ton of cane crushed, out of which 400 liters is consumed to produce sugar crystals obtained from sugarcane juice after cleaning the food grade halal chemicals. 300 liters of water after filtration is given back in the rivers. So that is, uh, we have verified. Okay, yes, this has been reported in. Okay, so we have just verified from the PSMA report that we were studying. Let's say we just come here and we were here. From here, we went to here this PSMA 2021 report, and we verified the point number 7. I don't know why it's not moving. So we verified the point number 7 here. I don't know where it's here. Sorry. So here it is. We have verified both these points that I had written from the report of year 2021. So the idea to to access these reports is to understand that you may have the access to literature, but you may also need to verify it from the resources, the correct resources. It is possible. Not saying that one institution like CCP has different, um, is saying one is right or another is wrong, PSM is wrong, because I don't know. And it is possible they both are right. They have just different perspective of access to data and understanding and inputting it. So I'm just here trying to understand this research, trying to understand the data here, so that I can make my research better with the substantial data that is solid, robust, coherent, and brings out something meaningful, and not just something that I've picked here and from there and compiled it together and just presented it. Not that I have to present, I'm just doing it for my personal research analysis. That's it, improving skills. So next we have API at federal level used to conduct visits to the field and farmers to recommend the price of sugarcane. So API is also one of the institute. which has access to uh, perhaps the direct field data. So they might have the most relevant data as compared to the PSMA might have, but API Agriculture Policy Institute, they prepare the reports, they go to the field, get the data from the farmers. So I think they might have the most relevant data. So they can also be. I have read their reports and I might do. And here it's written in red font to confirm the point that I'm saying. So we read something, we don't know about it, but we read it. So they have written CCP. Government has not provided. I don't know which government they're referring to, but it says government has not provided any subsidy on export yet, making the export in international market uncompetitive where prices are low. Since I don't know, I do not have any numbers or facts on it. So I've just highlighted it red so that I can pursue it later. Then came the TCP is only buying limited stocks and that too at a minimal price of rupees 45 per kg. If the millers are willing to pay, are paying at such low prices, would they be able to pay to the farmers as per price flow? So TCP is also one of the institutions mandated by the government of Pakistan in around 1960s, where they are mandated to have at least some sugar in stock. So uh, when there is shortage or some kind of access, it can be balanced through the sugar imported by the TCP or put in reserves by the TCP. So that was that. And here is another point. So let's start here. Here is another point. Sugarcane generally constitutes 82% of the cost of producing sugar. Its cost is higher in Pakistan in comparison with other countries. So here is the cost of producing sugar. To reconcile with Agriculture Policy Institute annual report that we see, so I may not have quite a lot of data and knowledge on this, so I just highlighted it red so that I can pursue it later. So this is the way you do the research. You make the highlights and you do the point them out, write your points, and then further pursue it. In Pakistan, there is large area dedicated toward cultivation of sugarcane, yet the recovery of sucrose content is very low. So they might be right. I don't know what data access they have had to, but reports that I have read for PSMA, according to which the sugarcane cultivation area is shared with other crop, but also that we have already discussed just right now, and when we read in report 2021 of sugarcane, where they mentioned that rice takes and the wheat take more area than the sugarcane, and wheat takes 2-3 harvests than the sugarcane. Here, rice consumes more water and it takes 2-3 sugarcane harvests. So I think that is the area they are talking about. So let me say about the area. It's going to pick a lot of data. So I think this data here, according to the sugarcane cultivation areas share with, okay, yes. So rice, mm, let's just, I've read this they in report. Let me just see. Actually, they have reported somewhere in the PSM report that crushing middleman Jaggery is free solution for prices. Sugar mills of Punjab, KPK, movement to rice, KPK, in your Peninsula River, notified with increase in sugar and sugar prices. Because of increased crop costs and for sugar prices, remaining prices market. Okay, so I will find the resource for this, where I got this, because as I remember, it mentioned that the cultivation, they are producing crops uh, for uh, for sugarcane. They are using the same area for rice and the wheat. So, and in the same area they are doing the plantation. But I'll try to get it verified, and might pursue it in the next video. Then I came across, so I'll just highlight it where I need to work on it. Then I came to the next point. If proper zoning is carried out, it could be possible to make farmers their payments within 15 days. The thing that, so here I came to think of the timely solution for the farmers. I think it could be done through prepayments the farmer can get once their produce is done and make given to the millers. So perhaps some financial solution, some fintech or some agriculture fintech solution that makes the payments for the farmers easy, and they don't have to wait for the days and the months. Perhaps something might be in process. I have not read, but I thought of this solution when I read this point. So this is how we do it. Cross-reference with other literature and verified sources, thinking creatively to find solutions for problems. So here we are done, and next we are going to pursue it ahead. So I'll just find this and put it where I have got this data from. Thank you. So that gets recorded in the same recording. Here I just thought I might cover this part in the same record, cover this part so that it gets recorded in the same recording. So here we were discussing, it contradicts with the report. Now here they're stating, in Pakistan there is a large area dedicated to both cultivation of sugarcane, yet the recovery of sucrose content is very low. Now for the area cultivation of sugar, uh, it slightly contradicts with the PSN report finding of 2021 report, and according to which sugarcane cultivation area is kind of shared with other crop. Now how? Let's just read here. That is the same report of 2021, page number 6. It states that sugarcane is cultivated on around 1.2 to 1.4 million hectares, that is 0.62% of cultivable land, while wheat is cultivated at 10 million hectares. Now this is 1.2, and that is 10 million. That is 1.8% of, or 1.82% of cultivable land. Therefore, with the start of early crushing of season does not increase wheat production, as only 0.0005% of the land is made available to plant wheat. Now, these sentences indicate that perhaps the sugarcane area where the sugarcane is cultivated is being shared with the area where wheat is cultivated. So, when there are more profit in wheat, so farmers tend to, it implies, cultivate wheat than the sugarcane. So, therefore, perhaps has provincial governments encourage price flooring in the set price floorings to encourage farmers to cultivate cane. So that we have identified here. Now, that is as per my understanding. It could be otherwise, but to me it appears so. So since I'm eager to learn, I can be corrected as well. Now here it says also with the Punjab. Now for the uh, yet the recovery of sucrose content is very low. Now for this, if we see it, how it contradicts with this. It says that the Punjab, that I have noted, Punjab Food Department website, which seems to be working on improving the sucrose content. So I have compiled the resources here. Where they are improving the sucrose content, but it does not say that they have achieved certain rate of sucrose content. That we could find out from the website of. So here I have while I was working, and here is the Punjab Food Department's resource, and I cannot open it right like this because it hangs and does not use. So here is the Punjab government website. And I'm going to search the sucrose here. It it has produced two results, and if you click here, it's related to the sucrose content test labs. So we're just going to see what it shows, and here it shows that establishment of four mobile laboratories to test verify the sucrose contents on sugarcane crushed by the sugar mills in Punjab. And then they have what else they have done? Food testing laboratories they have done in Multan, and the installation of sucrose content test lab at sugar mills of quality feeding. So if you just search it again and go to the previous and see what others steps they have taken to improve or identify the quality of sucrose contents in sugarcane. So they seem to have launched a tender which determines the contents of sucrose in sugarcane. And it seems to have passed in year 2022, perhaps after the Punjab order of 2021 related to sugar regarding the improvement of supply chain. Then, if you go and look at the sugarcane variety for KPK, so they have Sugar Cross Research Institute, Mardan, and there they have on their website they have mentioned the varieties. So they have variety, years of release, cane yield, turn, hectare, and the percentage. So these are the different they have worked over time, and the last they worked was in year 2021. The variety sugar cane is named Gul Rahman 2021, and it produces 12.46%. The highest yield was named Abdul Qayyum 2017, and it yields 12.8%, 880%. So that is the percentage of sucrose content. Better variety, that is the amount of perhaps that they produce sucrose content in the sugarcane, and based on the early and mid maturity, the contents they produce. So I think so. I just wanted to incorporate it in the same video so that I remember it later on. So that was all. Thank you.